In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process that I use for creating these wire bezel settings to add accents to my pieces. This technique will probably be familiar for those of you who have followed my channel for some time. One of my first videos was on this same topic. I wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to redo some of my older videos with a little bit more clarity. With the current stay-at-home situation, I'm planning on trying to release at least 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future. Let's go ahead and dive in. To make it slightly easier to see in the video, I've selected a 5mm topaz. This is slightly larger than I would normally use for accent sizes, but it'll make it clearer and easier to see in the video. The wire that I'll be using to set this is 20 gauge round and half hard. I have about 5 inches here. If I want to be extra precise with the bezel that we're creating, I can go ahead and use these calipers set about 1/2 millimeter smaller than the size of the stone, and I can find that space on my round pliers. I can mark that with a non-permanent marker so I know where to begin wrapping the wire around my pliers. The bezel that we'll create will essentially be a spring that will be compressed around the stone. I want to place my wire in the tips of my round nose pliers, right where I had made my mark, and I can go ahead create the full circle. This will be the top of our bezel setting. Before making the rest of the setting, I want to make sure that it's sized properly. I want to test with my stone, making sure that it can't slip through the loop we've created. Once I've ensured that it's sized properly, or adjusted if I needed to, I can slide it back down where it belongs on my pliers. I can take one end, coil it up around the tips of my pliers. Once I have this shape, I can twist it along the same direction that I was passing it around the pliers and compress the spring. I'll make a perfect cup for the culet, which is the pointy end of the stone, to sit in while passing the top section of our spiral around the table of the stone, securing it into the setting. Next, I am going to take the wire at the bottom and bend it 90 degrees straight down. That way I can secure it to my frame without losing any of the tension that we put into this spring when it goes to be added into the piece. Next, I'm going to take our stone, and it should snap just into the cup that we've created. Now the setting by itself is fairly fragile, and it does take a little bit of work to secure it into the piece without the stone falling out. At the point that mine is now, I can shake it around with no rattling. It's actually holding pretty well in the tension. But as I go to attach it to the frame, I want to make sure that I continue to pass this wire in that clockwise direction that the setting was built in. The bottom wire I can go ahead and secure to the frame, just making sure that I don't let off any of the tension that's holding the stone in place. And there's our finished bezel. From here I can weave onto the setting we've created, or I can go ahead and attach it directly to the frame, like I did with this piece as an accent. As always, a huge thank you goes out to those who are already supporting the channel through Patreon. If you're interested in helping support what I'm doing here, check out the link to my Patreon in the description of this video.